How about now? Can you hear me okay now? All right. It helps when I turn the microphone on. All right. My bad. My bad. Let's recap all of that. Hey, Grant here. Welcome to the Booked and Paid to Speak live workshop. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. Sorry about that. I guess I had my microphone off. So everything's coming through loud and clear now. You can hear me. You can see me okay. Everything's good. We all right? We okay? Okay. Sorry about that. Hey, again, go ahead and drop in the chat. Let me know not only one if you can hear and see everything okay, but also let me know who you are and where you're from. Just go ahead and drop that in the chat. I see a lot of people here. I see Jennifer and Randy and Jody and Tavetta, Lee. So go ahead and again drop in the chat. Let me know who you are, where you're from, so we can say hey to you and see who all is joining us. If we haven't had a chance to meet before, my name is Grant. I'm located just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, with my lovely family. I'll tell you about them in a little bit. But I'm so excited you're here. We are into let's see, what is this? 2020, right? January 14th, 2020. We are here. Someone was asking if this is live. Where was this? James. Hey James, what's up? Why pretend this is live? I'm here, man. So here we are indeed. It's gonna show. Well, I mean, I'm telling you, it's Tuesday, January 14th. 2 minutes till 7 o'clock. There you go. All right, let's see who all we got joining us here. We've got Rocco in Vegas. We got Dennis in Michigan, Chris in Philly, Terry in Australia, Fran in Indiana, Jennifer in Columbus, Mike in Ohio, Jeff in Utah, Kelly in Southern Cal, Diane in DC. Jane is here, Tavetta in Indiana, Randy in Michigan, Steve in Washington, Lindy in Vegas, I got someone in Chicago, Conway in South Africa, Timothy in New York, Brian in Atlanta, Aaliyah in Jersey, John from Largo, Monica asking, is this actually live? I just said it is. Yes, come on. We're good. Everyone calm down. All right. Oscar in the Bay Area, Ian in Iowa, someone in Trinidad, welcome. Adam in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Jane in New Orleans, Jadine in Central Florida, Mark in California, Sammy in Nashville, what's up? Let's see here. Frank in Florida, we got someone in Montreal, Monica, you're in Atlanta, awesome, good. Hey, so glad you guys are here. Glad you're joining us. I know that, again, that you're busy. I know you have a lot going on, but really do appreciate you being here and looking forward to getting rolling here. Yeah, we are indeed live. It is, again, Tuesday, January 14th. We're a minute or two away from top of the hour, and we are going to get rolling. Yeah. Let's see here. We got Cal in Vancouver, Carla in Birmingham. Awesome. Hey, glad you guys are here. Glad you're joining us. Hey, before we get going, again, let me know if you can hear and see everything okay. Also, if you would do this for me, if you're having trouble connecting or if you're running into any type of technical issues, then the best thing that you can do is that you can just reload, you can refresh, and that will get things up, and hopefully that will fix 99% of the potential challenges that you may run into here. All right. It's 2020, people. We're 2 weeks in. 2 weeks in. Can you believe we're 2020? My goodness. Diane, I see you. I hear you. I don't even hear you. But I acknowledge you. Michael, looks good here. Good. I'm feeling good about the new year. I mean, we got big plans for this year, people. We got big plans at the Speaker Lab, and I'm feeling good tonight. All right, we ready? I'm ready. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to change my screen over to slides, and we're going to use that to guide our conversation and discussion. So let's see here. Let me switch over to that, and let's jump in here. All right, there you go. Let me know if you can see my screen okay. I want to make sure that is coming through for you. Also want to make sure that you can hear me. Now, in this context, obviously I can't see you, but I'm going to rely really heavily on the chat. So if you're ready, just type in the chat, I'm ready. Just type in the chat, I'm ready. We're just doing a little test, a little check, make sure you're alive and well. Everybody feeling good? All right, let's jump right into this. So today we're going to be talking all about how to get booked and paid to speak without having an existing platform or being salesy. Now, I'm guessing for a lot of you, this is probably not your first webinar, your first training. And so the first thing that I want to mention to you is that if you have struggled in the past with finding and booking speaking gigs, I want you to know that it's not your fault. The reality is that there's a lot of information out there, and it can be confusing, it can be overwhelming, and oftentimes it's that information overload that keeps you from success. And so if you've been concerned in the past that you can't succeed without being a celebrity or having a book deal or a big name or a huge platform or a crazy story or whatever the thing may be, I want to put those fears to rest. You just need the right person to explain it to you, and that's exactly what I am here for. All right. I know that you have a dream to change the world, to make an impact. And so one of the core beliefs here at the Speaker Lab is that we believe your message deserves to be shared. And so today I want to show you exactly how to make that happen. Now, my goal for our time together is this. My goal is that whether you're a beginner still trying to understand the speaking world, or you're a more experienced speaker trying to book more gigs or command higher fees, we're going to walk you through a step-by-step system of exactly how you can book a steady flow of paid speaking engagements so you can ultimately build a more predictable speaking business. Now, if you want to know how much you should charge as a speaker, this is a question we get all the time. Grant, how much should I charge as a speaker? And the answer is it depends, but that's a horrible answer. And so if you want to know this, I want you to go to thespeakerlab.com/myfee. We put together a free speaker fee calculator where you answer a couple questions and it will tell you what you should be charging as a speaker. So go over to thespeakerlab.com/myfee and answer a couple questions there. Again, it'll take you 30, 45 seconds or so. And once you have that number, that's going to give you a number there of what you should be charging. I want you just to hang on to that. Okay. We're going to come back to that in a little bit, but I want you to get that number and just hang on to it. So once you got it, just type in the chat, I got it. Just type in the chat, I got it. Maybe you already had it. You came in there ready to go. You did your homework. Just type in the chat, I got, don't give me the number. Don't put it in there yet, but just type in, I got it. All right. Now I got a favor to ask of you. My favor is that you would be fully present, that you would be locked in, that you would be dialed in, that you would be focused. Because here's the reality. I know that you're busy. I know that you have a lot going on. I know there's other things that you could be doing right now. So I need you to tell, your spouse to leave you alone, or your boss to leave you alone, or the kids to leave you alone. I need you to turn off the TV, turn off the phone, turn off whatever other distractions you may have. I want you to be fully present here, because the information we're going to be talking about today can literally change your life and give you the opportunity to change the lives of the audiences that you could be speaking to. So I'm dead serious when I say this information could literally impact and change your life and the lives of others. So if you are fully present, you're dialed in, you're focused, I want you just to type in the chat, fully present. Just type in the chat, fully present. I want to make sure that you're alive and well. We good? Okay. Also, stick around to the end here. I'm going to give you a free training on how to create a killer talk. We're going to spend the bulk of our time talking about how to find and book paid speaking gigs. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this part, the art of speaking. And so at the end, I'll give you a free training on how to create a killer talk. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about your website, the importance of it, but I'm going to give you a speaker website checklist plus 10 of the top speaker websites. So make sure that you stick around for that, as well as a link to today's slide. So I'm going to warn you now, I'm going to talk fast. I'm going to go through slides fast. It's going to feel like drinking from a fire hose. Hang with me though. If you miss something, then stick around, and at the end, I'll give you a link to the slides. All right, let me know if any of these things sound like you. Have you said or wondered any of these things like, I'm having trouble finding speaking engagements. I don't know how to connect with decision makers. I'm not sure how much to charge. Am I good enough to be a speaker? Do I have the confidence to be on stage? What if I'm not an expert? Do I need some special qualifications to be a speaker? And can I actually do this? How many of these are things that you have said or wondered before? Maybe none of these, maybe a few of these, maybe all of the above. How many of these would sound like you? Let me know. Drop it in the chat. Click that link there for the poll. How many of these things sound like you? So here's the deal. The good news is, if these things sound like you, if these things sound familiar, then you are in the right place. So what makes this training different? What makes this unique? Well, this is not based on theories. This is not based on ideas. This is based on actual results, real world results, not just from myself, but because of the literally thousands and thousands of speakers that we have worked with inside of our training programs. And so in the return, I have something that I want to ask from you. At the end of our training here today, I want to make you an offer to help you book more speaking gigs faster through our premium training program called Booked and Paid to Speak. But here's the deal. I do not want you to invest in it unless I fulfill my promise to you today. But if I deliver on my word, I want you to at least consider my special webinar only offers. Does that sound fair? That sounds fair. Just give me a yes in the chat. Sound fair? Give me a yes in the chat there. Here's some of the students that we've worked with inside of our program. Shout out to Grant Baldwin and the Speaker Lab team. I started the Speaker Lab course at the beginning of 2018, never having booked my own speaking engagements. Through what I learned in the course, I was able to book over 30 speaking engagements during the year, about half paid, and during the last quarter, I averaged more than one a week. Look at that, 30 speaking engagements in the past year. Sue said in the last month, I've been asked to speak in Norway, China, Philippines, part of 2 leadership conferences in Vegas. So excited to see things come together. And then at the bottom there, Terry said, just secured a keynote for $7,500 in July. Thanks, Grant, for the booked and paid to speak system. And then check this one out. I'm finishing up my taxes. I originally counted $134,000 in revenue, but found another $19,000 when I recalculated. So I came in at $153,000 last year. That's a fun mistake when you find an extra $19,000. Like I just picture them digging in their couch cushions and coming across that. I can't thank you enough for your system and support. Couldn't have done it without booked and paid to speak. That's no exaggeration. I'm team booked and paid to speak all the way. I think I can hit $200,000 this year with 23 gigs booked, 19 in the pipeline with more on the way. See you tomorrow. Now, I'm curious how many of you would like to experience these kind of results? If so, just tell me, just type in the chat, me. If that's the type of results that you want to be seeing in your speaking business, just type in the chat, me. Now, since we're going to be spending a couple minutes together, I want to give you the quick nutshell of how I got into speaking. So let me give you the background here. I'm actually married to my high school sweetheart. Everyone say, oh, isn't that precious? Now, you're going to like this. This gets better. When my wife and I started dating, we started dating in high school. When we started dating, I was a freshman and she was a junior. Oh, what's up now, huh? That's kind of a hashtag cougar. Married myself a cougar mama there. So we've been together for a while. We've got 3 beautiful girls, as you can see in the pictures there. And so it's me and a house full of women. It is awesome. I love it. It's like my own little Barbie dream house. And so my career actually started as a youth pastor. I went to Bible college and then worked at a local church as a youth pastor and had a lot of opportunities to speak. And parts of it I liked, parts of it I didn't like. But the thing that I really enjoyed, the thing that I really resonated with was speaking. And so I wanted to do more speaking, but I kind of felt like this. I felt like I had the potential, but I needed the plan. I had the potential, but I needed the plan. How many of you would say that describes you? If so, just type in the chat, that's me. If you feel like that describes you, just type in the chat, that's me. You have the potential, but you need the plan. Have the potential, but you need the plan, meaning that you know you can do this. You know you're interested in speaking. You know you have a message to share, but you just don't know where to start. You just don't know what you don't know. And that's exactly where I was at. And so one of the first things that I did was that I invested in my business. And so you can see this is an actual PayPal receipt from several years ago. I invested $999 to attend this youth speaker boot camp. Now, as a former youth speaker or youth pastor, I got my start largely speaking at youth conferences and youth events. And since then, I've gone on to speak at various other events and conferences, speak to a variety of different entrepreneurs and corporations and associations, a variety of different audiences. But by investing in my business, I was able to connect with someone who is where I wanted to be. They were able to show me the plan for how to build and grow my speaking business. And so shortly after that, I booked my very first paid speaking gig. This is pictures from that actual gig. And so I spoke for about 45 minutes. There was an audience of about 300 people. And so for my very first paid speaking gig, I got a question for you. I'll put up another poll. How much do you think I was paid for that first paid speaking gig? How much do you think I was paid for that first keynote? What do you think? Nothing? $100, $500, $1,000, more than $1,000. Maybe they patted me on the head. Maybe they gave me an attaboy. What do you think? How much do you think I was paid for that very first presentation? Lots of guesses coming in there. You ready for this? For that very first gig, they paid me $1,000. $1,000. Now, to me, this was completely mind-boggling. Like I couldn't even wrap my mind around it. Like I vividly remember, still to this day, I remember, like I knew what the check was going to be. We'd contracted for it, and we teach how to do that inside of our program. But they handed me the check. I walk out to the car in the parking lot, and I literally just broke down in tears. Like I couldn't believe that they paid me $1,000, which is just an astronomical amount of money at the time, to do something that I would have done for free just because I loved it. It was so much fun. So how many of you, out of curiosity, how many of you, if you got paid $1,000 to speak, to share your message, to make an impact, to make a difference, to impact other people, how many of you would say that that would be a really good day? Just give me a yes in the chat if that would be a good day for you. That'd be pretty cool, right? So since then, we've gone on to speak at some amazing conferences and events all over the world, and I've had some awesome opportunities to connect with people. But I want to share this with you. I want to share how learning to get booked and paid to speak changed my business. How learning to get booked and paid to speak changed my business. Since starting my speaking career, I've earned multiple seven figures from speaking, had over 750 paid speaking engagements, over 1,000 live presentations, like in-person presentations, 46 US states that I've spoken in, over 500,000 people that I've spoke to live. 13,000 was the biggest audience that I keynoted an event for. I've also sold over 30,000 physical copies of my self-published book. Now, I stress physical copies. We're not talking like Kindle version or PDF, but actual physical copies. And then finally, we also signed a six-figure book deal. And so learning to get booked and paid to speak has really made a significant difference in my business. Now, I want to stress this, like these numbers are nice, but to me, they represent more than just numbers. They represent the lives that I've been able to impact, maybe even bigger than that. It represents how it's changed my own life and my family's life. So let me talk about that, how learning to get booked and paid to speak not only changed my business, but let me share with you quickly how it changed my life. How speaking changed my life? Today, I have no day job. I get to do what I love with whom I love when I want. I get to travel and work from anywhere. I get to influence others and make a difference. I have options, and ultimately I have time and money freedom. One of the things that our family loves to do is we love travel. We love experiences. We love trips. We love adventures. And so because of speaking, we've been able to take some awesome trips. My girls have been able to come with me on several speaking engagements. You can see us there at Legoland. We were there in the middle, ice skating on a frozen pond in Colorado. They're at Facebook's headquarters out in California, swimming with dolphins, or going to Disney World, or my wife and I going to a resort. And so, again, speaking has allowed these opportunities. We also recently built our dream home. And we have a fun pool in the backyard there. There's several of the neighbor kids that were over that were playing. And so, again, none of this is meant to be a pat on the back, but just to say, this is what speaking has allowed for me and my family. So here's a question for you. This is not rhetorical. I want you to actually drop this in the chat. What would being a speaker allow you to do that you currently can't? What would being a speaker allow you to do that you currently can't? Again, that's not rhetorical. I want you to drop that in the chat right now. Go ahead and drop in the chat. What would being a speaker allow you to do that you currently can't? Maybe for you, it would be to travel. Maybe it'd be to pay off debt. Maybe it'd be to quit your job. Maybe it'd be to spend more time with your family. Maybe it'd be to influence others, or to give back, or to buy a car, or meet new people. All the different things that you want to do. Why is it that you're here? Why is it that you want to be a speaker? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to find like a Post-it note. Find a Post-it note or a piece of paper, whatever you typed in there of what would being a speaker allow you to do that you currently can't. I want you to do this. I want you to write down your why. I want you to write down your why. I want you to circle it, and I want you to put it somewhere where you're going to see it every single day. Every single day, because for me, I wanted to create a life of freedom. I wanted to create a life of opportunity. I want to create an amazing life for my wife and for my family, for my daughters. And so I wanted to be a speaker so that I could impact people and I could change our lives as well. And so that was my why. What is your why? I want you to write that down, and I want you to put that on your computer monitor, put it on next to your phone, put it on your bathroom mirror, put it in your car, on your dashboard, put it on your fridge. I want you to put it somewhere where you're going to see it. So if you're willing to do that, I want you to type in the chat, I will. Just type in the chat, I will. If you're ready to do that, I want you to type in the chat, I will. So what if this was you? Why can't that be you? That should be you up there on stage. We believe that your message is worth sharing. We believe that your message is worth sharing. So you ready to start your journey? If you're ready, just type in the chat, I'm ready. Just type in the chat, I'm ready. Man, I'm excited. I'm feeling good today. I'm ready to roll. You ready? Just type in the chat. I'm ready. Okay, let's jump in here. So first, let's talk about 3 myths about being a speaker that just aren't true. 3 myths about being a speaker that just aren't true. Let's bust these myths. First myth, number 1, is that you have to be a world-renowned expert or had to have a tragic story that you've overcome to be a speaker. Listen, this is not true. Second myth here is that you have to be a celebrity or have an existing platform to be a speaker. This is also not true. Myth number 3 is that you have to be super salesy in order to get speaking engagements. Here's the reality. None of these myths are true. That's why they're myths. But in order to talk about what is true, we're going to do this through the framework of the Speaker Success Roadmap, the Speaker Success Roadmap. And so this makes the acronym SPEAK, S-P-E-A-K, S-P-E-A-K. So if you're taking notes, you can go ahead and write that down. So what we'll do here is I want to give you just kind of the big picture of what this acronym stands for, and then we're going to come back and we're going to go through each one of these one at a time. Okay. First one, S, is for select a problem to solve. Select a problem to solve. This may be the most important foundational piece. Is you have to be super, super clear about who you speak to and what's the problem that you solve. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. The P is for prepare your talk. Prepare your talk. So once you're clear on who you speak to, what's the problem that you solve, then we're going to talk about creating and delivering your talk. The E is for establishing yourself as the expert. Establishing yourself as the expert, meaning that how do you make sure that people know that you are the go-to person to solve that certain problem. The A is for acquire paid speaking gigs. Now I know that you're thinking, okay, Grant, that's what I'm here for. I am here to book more gigs, right? But you're going to see here in just a second why you need these first 3 pieces in place before you get to acquiring paid speaking gigs. Make sense? And then finally, the K is know when to scale. Know when to scale. So this right there, the SPEAK, this is the 5-step process, the Speaker Success Roadmap that we teach for exactly how to find and book paid speaking gigs. All right? So let's jump into this. We're going to go through these one at a time. So 3 secrets about being a speaker. Number 1 is that you don't need to overcome something tragic in your life to be a speaker. You don't need to overcome something tragic in your life to be a speaker. Let me introduce you to my friend Josh. When I started speaking, I met Josh at an event, and he and I have since become good friends and have spoken at several events together. And Josh has an amazing story. He had cancer as a child, ended up having a leg amputated, and went on to become a one-legged downhill skier in the Paralympics. And so I hear Josh's story and I'm just like, I can't compete with that. Like, I'm a white dude from the Midwest who's had a normal average life. Like, I don't know about the rest of you. How many of these things have happened to you? Have you conquered cancer, or climbed Mount Everest, or built a multi-million-dollar startup, or cured a disease, won a Nobel Peace Prize, competed in the Olympics, had a near-death experience? Like, I don't know that I can really check the boxes on these things, but the reality is again, you don't need to have accomplished or achieved or experienced these things in order to be a speaker. But again, what you need to do is the S. You have to select a problem to solve. You have to select a problem to solve. So how do you identify a problem that you could speak on? Well, to walk through this, we're going to walk through what we call the topic trifecta. The topic trifecta. Okay, so let's break this down. The first thing that you're going to need to think about is industry. Is industry. There's going to be 3 different I's here for the topic trifecta. First one is industry, or who. Who is it that you want to speak to? Who is it that you want to speak to? Now, there are 7 primary speaking industries. There's a lot of subcategories, a lot of different niches within this group, but here's the 7 primary speaking industries. So you have corporations, associations, faith and churches, nonprofits, government and military, colleges and universities, and education K through 12. Okay, so again, a lot of subcategories, but these are the big 7 that are typically looking for and hiring speakers. So here's a question for you. This is, again, not rhetorical. I want you to drop this in the chat. Which of these 7 most appeals to you in terms of who it is that you want to speak to? Who is it that you want to speak to? You can, in fact, you can just drop a number in the chat there. You can just drop a number in there. Who is it that you want to speak to? Now, so let's take something like healthcare. Healthcare could fall under corporations or associations. There are associations around the topic of healthcare, but then there's also individuals, hospitals, and medical systems that may hire speakers. So they could be both. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to say, I want to speak to all of them, 1 through 7. That is the wrong answer. So again, you can't speak to everyone. You can't speak to everyone. If you think you can speak to anyone, you really can speak to no one. So if we were to ask you, hey, who is it that you speak to? If you say, I speak to humans, I speak to people, that's the wrong answer. You cannot do that. You have to be really, really crystal clear on who it is that you want to speak to. So the first part is industry or who is it that you want to speak to? And again, you can't say all of them. Wrong answer. The second part of the equation is interest. So a way to think about this is, what do you want to speak about? What do you want to speak about? Now remember, well, think of it this way. Assuming you were put in front of your perfect audience to talk about any subject, what would you speak on? What would you speak on? Now remember, you are in the problem-solving business. You are in the problem-solving business. And what I mean by that is that you can't just say, well, I speak about everything, right? I am deeply passionate about speaking about teaching kittens how to raise puppies. You know, that's not going to work, okay? What problem can you speak about? If you think you can speak about anything, you really can speak about nothing. If you think you can speak about anything, you really can speak about nothing. So if I were to ask you, what do you speak about? And if you say, what do you want me to speak about? That's incorrect, okay? Again, you have to be really, really clear about what you speak about. Interest is a two-way street. Interest is a two-way street. And what I mean by that is, just because you're passionate about a topic, just because you care about a topic, doesn't necessarily mean that organizations or groups are actually hiring speakers to talk about that, right? Like I mentioned, kittens, raising puppies, you may be deeply passionate about it. It doesn't necessarily mean that people actually care about that. So interest is a two-way street. Does your industry, does your audience actually care about the topic? Do they care about the topic? Okay, so make sure that you understand that interest is a two-way street. So you have industry, you have interest, and then you have integrity. Industry, interest, and integrity, meaning, are you qualified to talk about this subject? Are you qualified to talk about this subject? But this raises the question, okay, Grant, I'm passionate about a subject, but what if I'm not an expert? Okay, let me put it to you this way. I am clueless whenever it comes to cars. I know nothing about cars. Like, what about the rest of you? If you're clueless with cars, just type in the chat clueless. If you are clueless whenever it comes to cars, just type in the chat clueless. I know nothing about cars. So when I take my car to the local mechanic, whoever's working on my car, to me, that person is the expert. Why? Because they know more about cars than I do. Now, does that mean that they're the world's greatest expert on cars? No. I know that. They know that. But remember, I'm not looking for the world's greatest expert. I'm looking for this one person who knows more about cars than I do. So to me, that person is the expert. So put it this way, you don't have to be the best in the world at something to be considered an expert. You don't have to be the best in the world at something to be considered an expert. So you have industry, you have interest, and you have integrity. These are the three old overlapping pieces of the topic trifecta. So let me ask you this. As a speaker, where is it that you want to be? As a speaker, where is it that you want to be? Boom. Right there in the middle. You have to find the overlap between who you want to speak to, what's the problem that you're solving for that audience, and are you qualified to talk about that? Because if you're just deeply passionate about talking to something, but there's no audience for it, you're going to have a really difficult time. Or if you have the topic, you have the audience, but you don't have the industry, or excuse me, the integrity, you're not qualified to talk about it. That's not going to work either. So you have to find the overlap between these three. Okay. Most speakers fail because they're not clear on these three areas. This right here, okay, if you're tuned out, tune back in, okay? I'm talking to you. Yep, you. You're like, wow, how did he know? Okay, I'm here with you. Talk to me. Listen. This may be the most important slide that I have to show you. Most speakers fail because of this. Most speakers say, Grant, I just want to speak. I don't even care who I talk to or what I speak about. That's never going to work. You have to be clear about who you speak to and what it is that you speak about. And you have to make sure that you're qualified to talk about that. Does this make sense? Are you tracking? Are you with me? Just type in the chat. I'm with you. Is this helpful so far? You learning something? We scratching where you're itching? Don't go quiet on me in the chat there. Come on, talk to me. Give me some feedback here. You can give me the preacher, something there. I don't know. All right, everybody's good? Now, some of you may feel like, okay, I'm starting to get a little clarity there, but I'm still a little bit stuck because I'm not entirely sure what it is that I speak to or what the problem is. So I just want you to know, we go in depth on all of this more inside of Booked and Paid to Speak. So we're going to help you get exactly crystal clear on the different industries, how to determine which markets pay speakers, how to determine if you're qualified to talk about certain topics, all of that. We go deeper inside of the Booked and Paid to Speak program. All right. So second part here. Second part is this: select a problem to solve. Then the P is prepare your talk. Prepare your talk. Now, we're not going to spend any time talking about that today. We actually have a totally separate program called the Art of Speaking, totally separate training program. But know this, that your best marketing is delivering a great talk. So we teach that inside of Art of Speaking. In fact, stick around to the end of our time. I'll show you how you can get Art of Speaking for a deal if that's something that you're interested in. Cool? Okay, so ready for speaker secret number 2? If you're ready, just type in the chat, I'm ready. If you're ready, just type in the chat, I'm ready. We good? All right, let's keep moving on here. Speaker secret number 2, you're going to like this. You can start booking and getting paid for speaking engagements without, look at this list, without an existing brand, a best-selling book, a blog, a podcast, social media following, name recognition, or online presence. You don't need these things in order to get started as a speaker. What you need to do, though, is you need the E, to establish yourself as the expert. Establish yourself as the expert. Now, I want you to think of it this way. Think of this as your product packaging. Think of this as your product packaging. So, like when you go to the grocery store, there's so many different types of products and packaging options, and all of them are trying to get your attention. So think about like ice cream, for example. First of all, I love ice cream. Anybody else big ice cream fans? I'm a huge ice cream fan. What's your favorite ice cream? What's your favorite ice cream? Just drop it in the chat. What's your favorite ice cream? I am a big chocolate fan. I'm like chocolate brownie, chocolate upon chocolate upon chocolate with brownies and cookie dough. You know what else I really, really like? And I'm not afraid to admit this. It's childish, I know. I love sprinkles. I'm a huge sprinkle fan. Any other sprinkle fans? Like they have hardly any flavor. I'm sure they're just pure sugar, but I got a problem. I love sprinkles. No shame in that. I love sprinkles. Okay, let's talk about ice cream though. When you walk down the ice cream aisle, there's so many different types of ice cream, and the reality is that most of them are offering pretty much the same flavors. Like most of them are offering vanilla. So pretty much every company that sells ice cream offers some form of vanilla. So on one end of the spectrum, you have something like Ben & Jerry's, right? Offering vanilla. In the middle, you have kind of a generic great value or some type of store brand category. And then on the end, you have something like this. I don't even know what to call this, but all of these, if you look at all these options, they are each vanilla ice cream, but we all know that the pricing and the perceived value on each of these is very, very different. So here's a question for you. Which would you prefer? Which would you prefer? 1, 2, or 3? Give me a number in the chat there. Which one of these would you prefer? Most of us would prefer number 1. We'd prefer the Ben & Jerry's here, right? Why? Because based on the packaging alone, it would seem like the best. Most of us would prefer number 1. But they all provide vanilla ice cream, so what's the difference? They all provide vanilla ice cream, so what's the difference? Why are most people not interested in this option? Why is it that most people are not interested in this option? Most people are not interested in this option because there's not enough information about the product, doesn't seem high quality, not even really sure what's inside the package, right? So here's the deal. Packaging for products and packaging for speakers matters. Packaging for products and packaging for speakers matters. So there's 2 key marketing tools that you need as a speaker. Number 1 is your website, and number 2 is your demo video. So website and demo video. Let's talk about, first of all, your website. You need a website with your name. Now, social media presence, having a Facebook account, having a LinkedIn profile, that doesn't count, okay? You need a website with your name. This is why I have grantbaldwin.com, which actually, funny story, I actually had to purchase that from another guy named Grant Baldwin. I also It's so important. I actually purchased the domain names for my wife and all 3 of my daughters, and now I'm squatting on those until they need them someday, and then I'm going to sell it back to them at an exorbitant rate. I'm pretty excited about that. Just kidding. So you need a website. Now, if you don't have a website, we actually have a WordPress website theme we created called Podium. This is something we created internally, and you can see here. This basically, if you don't have a website, you need one. This is like a paint by numbers. It's basically a simple template that helps you create a speaker website quicker. So actually, we offer this for sale on our website for $197. But actually, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you about how you can actually get this for free. Okay, if you don't have a website, you need a website. You do need a website. Then make sure you stick around, and I'll tell you how you can get that. Now, let me ask you this. How many of you enjoy going to the movies? How many of you enjoy going to the movies? My wife and I, our family, we love going to the movies. And like a lot of people, our favorite part, or one of our favorite parts of going to the movies is what? What is one of your favorite parts about going to the movie? I love going to the movies. What's one of your favorite parts about going to the movies? For us, it's the previews. It's the previews, right? Now, even though all the trailers are on YouTube now, wouldn't be hard to find them. There's still something fun about watching the previews in a movie theater, right? Now, let me ask you this. What is the point of a theater that's showing you all of those previews? The point is obviously to get you excited, to make you want to see more, right? But why do they need a video to do that? Like, why couldn't they just have a text paragraph on a screen explaining what the movie is about? Or why couldn't they just have a movie worker or employee come down to the front and say, hey, before we show you the film that you came to see, I want to tell you about a couple of cool movies that are coming out in a few weeks we think you're going to like. They don't do that because it's not nearly as effective as people being able to see the preview themselves, right? And so the same thing is true for your demo video. Your demo video lets buyers preview the product before buying. Your demo video lets buyers preview the product before buying. Now, sure, you could just describe in text form what your talk is about, what style of communicator you are, but isn't it more powerful? Isn't it more effective to let potential clients actually see it? Now, don't be alarmed here, okay? Your website, your demo video, they don't need to be some movie trailer quality. One thing you'll hear us say a lot is to work with what you've got, do it with excellence, but improve as you go. Work with what you've got, do it with excellence, and improve as you go. I've been through 4 iterations of websites, about 6 or 7 different demo videos. Work with what you've got and improve as you go. Andrea said inside of our program, I just wanted to share a win. I purchased the Booked and Paid to Speak on Monday and finished my demo video towards the end of the week. I purchased the program because I've hit a wall in getting gigs. Yesterday, I got an email for a speaking gig. The contact said they watched my video. Again, having a video makes a huge, huge difference for speakers. Now, why is a good why is a good website and video important? Why is a good website and video important? Because buyers equate packaging with value. Buyers equate packaging with value. Whether we like it or not, people judge books by their covers. People judge books by their covers. We all do it. So again, let's go back to this example with the ice cream. Which one of these costs the most? Give me an A, B, or C in the chat. Which one of these costs the most? Most of us are going to assume that the Ben & Jerry's cost the most. Why? In part because of the packaging. The Ben & Jerry's has a higher price point, but it also has a higher perceived value because of the packaging, right? Ben & Jerry's probably going to cost most. Great Value is going to be in the middle. That artificially flavored vanilla ice cream, I have zero clue what that's going to cost. So again, like I said, work with what you've got and improve as you go. Work with what you've got and improve as you go. This is actually a screenshot from my very first demo video. You can see it's very dark. It is a small group of people there. The lighting was bad. The audio was bad. The acoustics were bad. It was a less than ideal setting. But you know what? This is what I had in the beginning. Work with what you've got and improve as you go. Jeremy said, I completed my video and website, then found out Friday I'll be the opening speaker for a local conference on innovation and entrepreneurship. Loving the Booked and Paid to Speak materials. Jake said, hey, everyone, thanks for your review of my demo video. I've edited it, taking all your recommendations into consideration. It's 100 times better. So inside of the program, we actually do some reviews of demo videos just to help you know how you can tweak it, make it better, to help it be optimized for booking gigs. All right, so we have select a problem to solve, prepare your talk, establish yourself as the expert. Now let's get to the A, the acquire paid speaking gigs. But let me pause. Let me go back for a second here. I told you a few minutes ago, this is the part I know that you're really excited about. This is the part you're looking forward to. But I said, we got to establish the foundation first. Does this make sense now? Why you need to have these three pieces in place? If you're not clear on the problem that you solve, you don't have any idea what your talk is about, you don't have a website or demo video, you don't have any marketing materials that a potential client could look at, it's going to be very difficult to acquire paid speaking gigs. You with me? You tracking? Is this helpful? Scratching where you're itching? Are you catching what I'm casting? I just learned that from my daughters the other day. Okay, let's keep cruising on here. Speaker secret number 3 is this. Getting bookings is not about being salesy. It's about building relationships and offering a solution to decision makers. Getting bookings is not about being salesy. It's about building relationships and offering a solution to decision makers. So we have found that the best potential clients are those who already book speakers. Best potential clients are those who already book speakers. So best places to start are conferences, association events, other groups that are already looking for a speaker, churches, nonprofits, schools, groups that are already looking for a speaker. It is much simpler to get your foot in the door if they are already looking for a speaker. So let me give you an example. Let's take knitting, for example. So I would go into Google and I would plug in phrases like knitting conference, knitting association, knitting event. I'll look this up by state or region or province or territory. I'll look up other speakers who are talking about that. And so I did exactly that. So we plugged in knitting conference into the Google machine and look at what it gave us. We have 21 million results here. But we have Knitters Review. We have Stitches Events, the Knitting Universe. We have Stitches United 2019. We have Vogue Knitting Live. We have this fall knitting retreat. We have Knit Happenings Knitting Events calendar. So let me ask you 2 questions. Number 1, do you think that these conferences, organizations, retreats, and groups are looking for speakers to talk about knitting? Do you think that these events are looking for speakers to talk about knitting? Yes or no in the chat. Let me ask you a second question, second part of the question. If you were a speaker who focused on the topic of knitting, that's the problem that you solved, that's what you spoke on, that's what you help people with. If you spoke on the topic of knitting, do you think that you would be a good fit for these events? Yes or no? Of course you would, right? Because again, you are providing a solution to a problem that they already have. You're not trying to convince any of these people. And again, this is the first couple results of pages and pages of this. But you're not trying to convince them to hire a speaker. They're already planning on hiring a speaker. You're just showing them why you're a good fit. Let me give another example. I plugged in Tennessee Realtors Conference. Tennessee Realtors Conference. Look at this. Events, Tennessee Realtors. Fall Convention, Tennessee Realtors. Meeting and Events, Tennessee Realtors. The 2018 Spring Conference. The 2019 Fall Convention for Tennessee Realtors. Again, all of these events, just if I'm just focused on Tennessee Realtors Conference. I might look up other realtor speakers or, I live outside Nashville, so I'm looking up in Tennessee, but you could find 49 other states as well. You could look this up by other region or province or territory, depending on where you are located. So this works really, really well. Now, once you find opportunities, you want to contact the decision maker, and this is key, have a system to strategically follow up. Have a system to strategically follow up there. This is the mistake that a lot of speakers make is we may reach out and then we just like, hey, if you ever need a speaker, just hope you think of me. That doesn't work. Okay. We want to stay top of mind with them. So email is the most effective starting point for communication. Email is a great way to just start the process. And remember, as you're starting the process, remember this is a relationship business. Do not try to seal the deal on the first date. Do not try to seal the deal on the first date. Okay, we're having a long-term perspective on this. Now, as you contact people, one of the things we put together is a follow-up flow chart. Now, I know this is a little small. I know you may not be able to see this, but let me explain what it is. Basically, you start at the top and you work your way through the flow chart, okay? And it's yes, no questions. And so you send an email based on whether or not they reply or they didn't reply or what they said or didn't say. Then you start working your way through the flowchart. Okay. In addition to this, we put together 20 pages of email scripts. 20 pages of email scripts here to go along with the follow-up flowchart. 20 pages. So talk to me in the chat. Let me know if you had a follow-up flowchart and you had 20 pages of email scripts, would that be beneficial to you? Would that be helpful? Would that make it quicker for you to book gigs? If you had the follow-up flowchart and 20 pages of email scripts, would that make it quicker for you to book gigs? Yes? A lot of you saying yes. Don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So here's the deal. We put both the follow-up flowchart and those 20 pages of email scripts. We put them in the Booked and Paid to Speak program. We want to give you exactly what we would recommend and exactly how to communicate with potential clients so that, again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Justin said, if you're looking for an effective way to connect with meeting planners, get booked, use Grant's proven email system. Following his advice, I contacted one meeting planner. 2 days later, I was booked to speak at their statewide leadership conference. Look at that. 2 days later, booked to speak at a statewide leadership conference. Andrew said, emailed 38 inquiries since beginning, booked 2 engagements, which will pay $2,000 per event. Paid for my Booked and Paid to Speak investment, first 2 gigs using the system, just an inquiry with my website listed as the signature. Simply ask if and when they book presenters, if I could assist in that process in any way by being the speaker or helping them find the right person. Look at that, $2,000 per, that's $4,000 if my math is correct, just from following that system. Glenn said, I had my first email inquiry about one of my talks. It's the first time someone has expected to spend money to have me come speak for an event. The power of contacting your alumnus university is working. Is this where I cry? Thanks all. So let's come back to the speaker success roadmap. So we have the select a problem to solve, the P, prepare your talk, the E, establish yourself as the expert, the A, acquire paid speaking gigs, and then the last one, K, is know when to scale. Know when to scale. So I want you to recognize this, that generating revenue and impact as a speaker isn't limited to just speaking from stage, is not limited to just speaking from stage. So in fact, here are 10 ways that you can get paid beyond a speaking fee. So a book, curriculum, product, coaching, consulting, webinars, online training course, train the trainer, advertisements, sponsorships, and referrals. These are all different ways that I have used speaking to generate revenue in other ways in my business. Now, I'm assuming for several of you, you're interested in speaking, but you're probably interested in using some of these other mediums to build your audience to share your message. So just drop in the chat. Let me know. Give me a 1 through 10 here of which one of these would be other ways that you would like to build your business beyond just speaking. Which one of these resonates with you? Give me a 1 through 10 number there. All right, cool. So let's recap where we're at here. So first of all, identify a problem that you could speak on. That's where, again, we talked about the topic trifecta, the industry, interest, and integrity. Number 2, position yourself as the expert. Create your website and video. Number 3, identify existing events that book speakers. Number 4, contact decision makers. And number 5, build, grow, scale your speaking empire. Now, like I told you at the beginning, I warned you I was going to talk fast. I was going to go through slides fast. How many of you say that this describes you right now? If so, just give me a yes in the chat there. If you'd say that described you, just getting blasted in the face there. Now, I mentioned to you, I do have some free bonuses. So let me drop this link in the chat there for you. You can go to thespeakerlab.com/BPS download. BPS download. You can get a how to create a killer talk bonus training, the speaker website checklist, plus 10 of the top speaker websites, plus a link to today's slides. Now, let me ask you a question. Has this been worth your time so far? Has this been worth your time so far? Just give me an answer in the chat there. Has this been worth your time so far? Let me ask you another question. What has been your light bulb moment? What has been your light bulb moment? What's been the aha moment? What's been the thing where you're just like, oh, okay, that clicked. Aha, eureka. It's all coming together in my mind. What has been your light bulb moment so far? Let me ask you one more question here. Okay, this may be the most important question. Can you do this? Can you do this? Because here's the deal. I want to give you the steps. I want to give you the knowledge. I want to give you the know-how of what you need to do, but I want you to have the belief, the confidence that you can actually do this. One of our core values, one of the core things that our mission of the Speaker Lab is that we give speakers clarity, confidence, and a clear path to make an impact. I want you to have the clear path, the steps that you need to take, but I want you to have the clarity and the confidence that you can do this, that you can do this. If you can do this, I want you to type in the chat, I can do this. I can do this. I want you to type that in the chat right now. I can do this. So here's the thing. We have covered a lot, but there's still so much left to learn. We haven't talked about how you prepare a memorable message that resonates, presentation skills of when you should and shouldn't use technology, of how to network with other speakers. What do you do after you get booked? Travel. Who pays for that? Do I pay for that? Do they pay for that? How does that work? We haven't talked about how you transition into a full-time speaking career, creating and selling product, working with speaker bureaus. So the reality is that there's so much that we haven't even touched on, so much that we just don't have the time to get to. So at this point, you have a choice. You have a choice to make. Option number one is that you can spend countless frustrating hours like I did trying to make sense of it all, stumbling your way through, and maybe one day it all comes together. Maybe, hopefully. But option two is that you can take the fast track. You can get step-by-step help from professional speaker mentors who have been there, who've been where you're trying to go. So if you liked what I gave you for free today, you're going to love the rest of the training. This is why we created Booked and Paid to Speak. This is why we created Booked and Paid to Speak. And so here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to take just a couple of minutes and share with you a little overview of what Booked and Paid to Speak is. And so if that's okay with you, just take a couple minutes to go over this special offer I've created to help you book gigs faster. Can you just give me a yes in the chat? Is that okay if I go through that real quick? Okay, cool. So here's the nutshell. Booked and Paid to Speak is a complete A to Z blueprint for creating a system in your speaking business that gets you booked. Period. That's exactly what it's designed to do. So here's what you're going to get. First of all, you're going to get a brand new step-by-step video training program. This has been completely revised and updated this year. We spent a lot of time doing research with our students and figuring out what's working, what's not working, updated it all. In fact, any future updates we do, you get those updates as well. So this is going to be the core of the program, is a step-by-step training program. What does the course teach? Well, we're going to walk you through how to get clear on which industry you should speak to, know which clients and event planners are hiring speakers, the speaking industry matrix, which industries pay the most versus which are easiest to break into, how to create and structure your presentation, how to deliver a great talk that generates repeat and referral business, resources for creating your website and demo video and establishing your online brand, how to price yourself as a speaker and knowing how and when to negotiate to earn more. Plus, I'm going to give you a look at my own speaker fee structures, how to sell yourself to a client even if you hate selling, plus how to find more speaking opportunities that are right for you. In addition, we're going to talk to you about what to do after you get booked to create a great experience for the client so they want to refer you and work with you again. So for example, if you got hired to speak today, to speak at a conference, what would you send to the client? What would you do to make sure that you provide a great experience for them? We're going to help you understand how to deal with finances and taxes and business structures as a speaker. I'm going to let you listen in on an actual sales call recording to learn how to build rapport with a client, what questions to ask, and how to talk fees and to close the deal. How and when to hire staff, travel tips for speakers, how to transition to being a full-time speaker, and how to work with speaker bureaus and whether or not you even should. So all of that we're going to cover inside the training program. Eric says, hey, Grant, I booked $20,000 worth of speaking gigs the past 2 days. The floodgates are wide open. Joey asked, hey, nice job. How did you do it? Share your secrets. Eric said, honestly, Joey, I followed Grant's methods in Booked and Paid to Speak. I was organized, easy to work with, nailed it when I got on stage. It's not hard to do. Just follow the steps Grant teaches, have a good message, and be good to event planners, and you will do great. I'm super excited. Just booked my first $10,000 event. Thanks to your program, I have a system that brings a level of professionalism like the pros. Another one here in the middle there, booked my first 5-figure gig last night. Thanks for helping me get to this point. Working back through the program so we can leverage the insights even more powerfully. What you do matters. And then at the bottom there, Eric said, great morning group. Booked 2 events yesterday, a 1-day training for $3,100 and a 2-day training for $4,700. What is that? $7,800 total from 2 events. That's amazing. Melanie said, landed in New Zealand right in time for sunrise for a corporate event. Things like this make all the travel even more worth it. Hope you have wonderful adventures coming soon, too. I know several of you mentioned you were interested in wanting to speak because you want to travel, right? There's a lot of opportunities that you have to see the world because of speaking. So in addition to the Booked and Paid to Speak training program, you're also going to get the Booked and Paid to Speak community. This is a private discussion group. We have over 1,300 members that are in there. It's a great opportunity to connect with speakers. You always have a community of people where you can ask questions, get feedback, get support, not just from fellow community members, but we have myself and our Speaker Lab coaches who are in there on a daily basis, providing answers, providing guidance and feedback so that you are never stuck and that you can keep moving forward in your business. We also do a monthly live Q&A call so that you can always go back and be a part of those. You can also listen in on the archives as well, plus the opportunity to network with other speakers. Kendra said, I was asked to keynote an event in Dallas in March. The best part is the person hosting is in this community. Thanks, Andrea, for the opportunity, a great partnership. So we have speakers who connect with other speakers within the group and book gigs from this private group. Leah said, I thought you and Melanie would love to know that your suggestions netted me an increase that almost paid for this program's fee. So Leah was asking questions about an international speaking gig that she had. We talked her through how to price that, what to do, and just the advice alone that we gave her in this private community, she said nearly paid for the program's fee. Beth said, I love this program, the community, and the process because it works. I knew with all my heart that joining would get me to my next level, and I'm feeling so much joy now. When the work gets hard, just keep going because on the other side is everything you've dreamed of. I'm connecting to opportunities beyond my imagination. So let's go through a couple quick bonuses here. First one is unlimited email consulting with myself and the Speaker Lab coaches. If you get stuck, you have a question, you can email us directly. You have professional speakers on standby ready to help. So if you have a question about fee, about positioning, about your website, all of that, you have the private community that you can talk to everyone, or you can do email consulting with us directly. Second bonus is we're going to give you all of our email scripts, contracts, checklists. We call this the Booked and Paid to Speak Vault. So every document we use in our business helps you to book more business, stay more organized, eliminate stress. So all of the email scripts for reaching out, the follow-up flow chart, remember both of those, the follow-up flow chart, the email scripts, both of those are going to be included here. In addition, we give you our speaking agreement. So if you got booked to speak today, what would you send them? We're going to give you that. We're going to give you our event information form, our speaking writer, our event checklist as well, plus much, much more. Judy said, I sent out the quick question email to 18 organizations today. Within 2 hours, I had 6 replies of interest, already secured 1 event for May. Thanks for such terrific guidance, Grant. Third bonus here is 12 advanced training modules. So we've interviewed 12 different industry experts who teach how to create an online course, write and publish your first book, build an email list, as well as some advanced strategies for finding and booking gigs as well. And then the last bonus here is 12 speaker success stories. So you can hear from new veteran speakers on how they got started, how they find gigs, and how they are building their business. Eric said, it's been 6 weeks since I signed up for the program. I don't know what I was expecting, but I knew I needed to try something. In the middle there, he says, in 6 weeks, I've booked, received, signed contracts and deposits for 12 events through December of this year. Bottom line, thanks, Grant, and your team. You can see there, those 12 events at the very bottom, those 12 events equal how much? $27,170. Over $27,000 from those 12 events that he booked in 6 weeks since joining the program. Steve says, good news, booked my first paid gig of the year as a group I previously spoke at for free. They had told me they don't pay speakers. This time when they asked, I turned them down because the amount of my time needed would be a net financial loss for me if I did it for free. It ran it up the chain, got approval to provide a speaker's fee. I doubt I would have pushed for it had I not started this program and taken my speaking career more seriously. So he spoke at a group for free one year. They came back to him and said, hey, we'd love to have you speak again for free. And he said, because of what I learned inside the program, because of the confidence that I had, I went back to them and said, I can't do it for free. And because of that, he ultimately got paid for that gig. Christopher said, boom, booked in for a Mexico sales conference, sold 200 books for the event. Thanks, Grant. The course is paying off huge. My mindset, confidence, and attitude are exploding. At the bottom there, Chrissy said, Grant, signed up for your course just about 2 months ago. Booked my first speaking gig today. Thanks for your attention to detail throughout the course. All of the awesome resources I get to go back and start working with. And then this one, Brenda said, I posted about this a while ago, but the speaker contract came in today. I did a one-on-one LinkedIn coaching session option on my workshop presentation for national conference, and they booked me for it. This fee, combined with the conference fee they pay for airfare and hotel, has made this the second highest I've ever been paid for a conference workshop. I would have not found this conference if it wasn't for the Google alert I set up for call for speakers, and I would not have done the add-on fee. This program works. And that's my favorite part there. And it just paid for itself. All right. We talked about this earlier. Did you get your speaker fee at thespeakerlab.com/myfee? If you got that, go ahead and drop that in the chat now. How much was that for? If you got that earlier, go ahead and drop that in the chat. If you haven't done that, you can go real quick over to thespeakerlab.com/myfee. Speakerlab.com/myfee. You got that number there? Go ahead and drop that in the chat. Lots of numbers being dropped in there. So here's the deal. One of my favorite things about speaking is that other investments literally take years to earn back your money. But with Books and Pay to Speak, you can earn it back on one gig. For a lot of you that are dropping in the chat right now, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be able to earn way more than your investment on one gig. Mike said, I'm super excited. This is from an engagement that will be in a few weeks. I'll get the remaining balance when the gig is complete. Thanks, Grant, for the insight in the course. You can see that's a check for $1,723. And again, that's just a deposit. Greg said, Grant's course is worth it. Booked a gig today and made my money back. Thanks. Tom said, big win. Purchased Grant's Booked and Paid to Speak program 1 month ago. Just booked my first state conference gig just now for 2.5 times what I paid for Grant's program. Thanks, Grant. Your program is a no-brainer for anyone who wants to get paid to speak. Jake said, just received back signed contract for a January gig for the first time at my new higher price point. Thanks, Grant, Melanie, and team for the program that helped me know how to land it. So here's a recap of everything you're going to get: the Booked and Paid to Speak video training program, the private discussion group and Q&A calls, the unlimited email consulting, the Booked and Paid to Speak vault. That's all of those email scripts, contracts, checklists, the 12 advanced training modules, and the 12 speaker success stories. Plus, I've got some more bonuses to come there. But total value there is $10,982. We want to give you everything you could possibly need in order to succeed as a speaker. Okay. Are you ready? You ready to start booking gigs, sharing your message, making an impact and an income? If you're ready, just type in the chat, I'm ready. If you're ready, just type in the chat, I'm ready. Now, I know some of you are going, okay, Grant, I'm interested, I'm intrigued, but what's the investment? Well, you can get started today for just $197. $197. This is a payment plan where you can do it for $197 a month for just 6 months. So $197 gets you everything we've shown you today. Now, the regular price for the program is $14.97. You can actually go to thespeakerlab.com/store and you will see this. You will see the program, the full program for $14.97. What we've done, though, is we've created a one-time fast action pricing where we're going to take $500 off the regular price, and you can get it for just a one-time investment of $997, or you can do 6 monthly payments of $197. So one-time payment of just $997, that's $500 off what we offered on the site for, or you can do, again, 6 monthly payments of just $197. So if you're ready to join, you can click here to join now or go to thespeakerlab.com/go. And click on the side there or go to thespeakerlab.com/go. Now, some of you may be like, okay, Grant, I'm interested, I'm intrigued, but I'm on the fence, okay? What if I could take away all of the risk for you? So here's my guarantee to you. Take the course for 60 days, do the work, give an honest effort. If you don't see results, I'll give you your money back, period. It's just that simple, okay? If you do the work, we know that this works. This works if you do the work. And if you don't see the results, then we will give you your investment back. Let's take it a step further, though. Let's take it a step further. We offer a double your investment guarantee. And so what we mean by that is if you follow the system we teach, you don't at least double your investment within 1 year. You have a full year to double your investment. If you don't double your investment, we will give you your money back. I want you to just let that sink in. I don't know of any other program that offers that. But you have a full year. If you don't at least double your investment, we will give you your money back. We just know this works if you do the work. Now, I'm going to throw in some more bonuses for you as well. First bonus, this is a special webinar only bonus that's only for people who join while we are here on the training. So as soon as we are done, this bonus will be disappearing. Okay, so the first bonus is this. we're going to give you a 15-minute one-on-one video coaching call with one of our Speaker Lab coaches. Okay, a 15-minute one-on-one video coaching call. This is a chance for you and us to talk one-on-one. Anything that you feel stuck on, any areas that you need clarification on, we want to get you going fast inside the program so that you can start seeing results. So again, this is a bonus, a coaching call bonus that is only for those who join while we are here on the training. Okay, second bonus we're going to give is if you join now before the training ends, we're going to give you a 6-month featured membership to Gig Salad. 6-month featured membership to Gig Salad. Now, what is Gig Salad? It is a marketplace that connects speakers with event planners. They have over 300 new speaking gig listings per month. And so their featured membership, you can actually see in the corner here, they sell it for $290 or $289 for 6 months. We're going to give that to you for free. Their featured membership is the maximum exposure, the highest visibility. Cassandra said, wow, just got my second request for a quote on Gig Salad since I posted my profile a week ago. It's still incomplete. Both are local. So she's already getting inquiries from potential clients within a week. At the bottom there, Mike said, hey guys, I got 2 gigs in May totaling a little under $5,000. I'm still not satisfied. One was through a connection from another educator. The other was through Gig Salad, and they're both nonprofits dealing with students. They're also purchasing copies of my book. Keep using the training. It works. So again, this is, we have a lot of speakers who will use the Gig Salad membership that they get and book gigs as well. So again, this is, just to clarify, this is only for those who join while we are here on the training. Last bonus, I'm going to throw in one more bonus for those who pay in full, okay? For those who pay in full, you are going to get our Speaker Lab WordPress website theme. We showed this to you earlier called Podium. Again, if you don't have a website, you know you need a website. We don't want the website to hold you back from taking action, okay? So if you join now before the training ends, like I mentioned, we offer this on our site for $197, but for those who join and do the pay in full option, again, that's a one-time investment of just $997, you're going to get the WordPress theme for free. This will help you get your speaking website up quicker. So how to join, again, you can go to thespeakerlab.com/go, or you can click on the link on the side there. Also, don't forget the art of speaking. I talked about the art of speaking earlier. When you are registering, whenever you're completing your enrollment, then you can, again, totally optional. We offer the art of speaking on our website for $397. You can get this for half the price for just $197. That's just one-time investment for the art of speaking. So again, totally optional. To clarify, Booked and Paid to Speak is on the business of speaking. How do you find and book speaking gigs? And art of speaking is on how do you create and deliver a great talk. So would highly, highly, highly recommend that you pick up art of speaking when you get Booked and Paid to Speak as well. So here's the deal. You have the potential, and now you need the plan. You have the potential, and now you need the plan. This is why we created Booked and Paid to Speak. So which kind of speaker will you be? Will you be the dabbler or the action taker? The dabbler or the action taker? How long are you going to continue to wonder if you have what it takes? Are you going to continue to kick the tires and think, man, I wish I could be a speaker. I wish I could do this, but you continue to avoid taking action? Are you going to be the dabbler or the action taker? Like, this could be you. That should be you up there on stage. We believe that your message is worth sharing, but you have to take action. Joseph said, Grant, I'm doing 2 keynotes this week. We grew by $100,000 last year. Thanks for all your tips. Angela said, this is a few weeks overdue, but I've been confirmed for my first TEDx talk. And Jill said, I spoke for free on Tuesday. Someone who heard me speak reached out to ask me help them re-engage their employees. $9,000 contract signed on Friday for a follow-up workshop and 24 hours of consulting. My first money from speaking. So again, here's an overview of everything that you're going to get. The all-new Booked and Paid to Speak video training program, the lifetime access to the private discussion group, 12 months of unlimited email consulting, the Booked and Paid to Speak Vault, that's all the email scripts, contracts, checklists, the 12 advanced training modules, the 12 speaker success stories. And then again, these next 3 are the fast action bonuses. These are only available while we're here on the training. So when we are done here in a few minutes, these 3 bonuses will be disappearing. So you have the 15-minute one-on-one coaching call with a Speaker Lab coach. You're going to get the 6-month Gig Salad featured membership. And then finally, you're going to get the WordPress theme website template. You're going to get that, again, only for those that pay in full. Those are the 3 bonuses that you're going to get. Now, just to clarify, with that WordPress theme, the website template, do all the websites look the same? The colors blocks? No. You can customize the colors. You can tweak fonts. You can move sections around there. But if you don't have a website and you just know, like, all right, I need like a good paint by number option, that's what that is. Okay. But you can certainly customize it for colors and make it simpler for, or make it more applicable for what it is that you are looking for. So good question there. All right. So again, this is everything there. You can see total value is $11,718. We offer this on the website for $14.97. Like I said, we're taking $500 off of that as a special pricing for while we're here on the training. So you can get it for a one-time investment of $997, or you can do the monthly payment plan of just $197 a month for just 6 months. So $997 one-time investment, or a payment plan of $197 a month for 6 months. Okay. On the right side, again, reminder, you have nothing to lose, everything to gain. You have the 60-day money-back guarantee, plus you also have the double your investment guarantee. So you have 1 year. If you don't at least double your investment within 1 year, we will give you your investment back. Again, we know this works if you do the work. If you're ready to work, we're ready to help you. All right. We've got a lot of people who are already joining, so I'm so excited to connect with you and work with you on the inside of the program. I also want to get to some questions. So if you do have questions, go ahead and drop that in the chat. Go ahead and drop that in the chat. We will answer as many questions as we possibly can here. Lots of people continuing to join, so welcome to all of you. Again, if you have questions, go ahead and drop those in the chat. Let's get to as many of those as we possibly can here. All right, again, go ahead and drop those questions in the chat there, and we want to help you out with anything that you feel stuck with or wondering about or anything along those lines. So let's see here. I saw someone who was asking about the payment plan. 197 times 6 is 1182. That is good math. So the full payment is a one-time investment of $997. But if you want to do the payment plan, you totally can. You're right. You end up paying a touch more, but we break it up for you. So if you want to do that, you certainly can. Totally optional either way. Okay, let's see here. Someone was asking, Dennis said, I'm not ready to start. I can start in March of this year. Yeah, totally understand that. A lot of times people are wondering about timing, or is it something that I can, I can do later or something along those lines, and totally understand that oftentimes we want to wait until the timing is right or till we have everything figured out before we take action. The reality is that you're never going to be totally ready. You're always going to be trying to figure it out. And you're always going to be wondering, if you have what it takes, or wondering what your next action items are. So a couple things. One would be, if you're serious about finding and booking gigs, and especially making that part of your year here in 2020, then one of the things that we've done is, or we've had several students do, is they will go ahead and invest in the program just because they know that just because they know that this is a good offer and this is something that we don't do on a regular basis. And so they know that if they can go ahead and lock this in, then they can come back to it later whenever it makes more sense. So that's totally fine if you want to do that. We're not going anywhere. We've been around for a long time. We're going to be around for a long time. So we even regularly in Tide Support, we will have people who will message us and say, hey, I joined the program, a couple of years ago, and I got distracted or I got busy or whatever, but I'm interested in jumping back in. Can I have my login? Yeah, absolutely. You can still jump back in. So if you wanted to, Dennis, if you wanted to go ahead and jump in now and then come back and come back in March, you can absolutely do that. Tavetta asks, are there schools listed in Nashville through the tool that you mentioned earlier? I plan to visit in April 2020. I'm not sure which tool you are referring to. You can certainly, like inside the program, we can show you specifically how to find schools in Nashville or any type of market. You can also just take exactly what we've shown you on the training here, and you can look up schools as well. So that's you can certainly do that. The bonuses you can find over at Let me drop that link in here. The speakerlab.com/BPS download. BPS download. There we go. There you are. Check that out. Michael asked a good question here. What if you have not completed your message? You have an idea, but it is not complete. Yeah, Michael, similar to what I was saying earlier, I think for most people, they join the program not having it all figured out. We assume that you don't have it all figured out whenever you join. And so that's part of the point of the program is we want to give you what you need, what you need to be aware of, what you need to be thinking through. In fact, oftentimes it is easier when someone joins the program who doesn't have it all figured out, and then we can really start from scratch versus someone who I have a bunch of things together, and then they may need to kind of go back to the drawing board and potentially start over, make a big pivot in their business. So if you don't have it all figured out, that's okay, because we can help you with that. And again, we have a lot of people inside the program who are in that exact same spot. All right. What else? What other questions do you have? Go ahead and drop those in the chat. I know that we've already had a bunch of people who have joined. So welcome to all you guys. Looking forward to connecting with you and working with you inside the program. I see, let's see, Jerry and Mark and Diane, Jelani, Yvette. So welcome to all you guys. Again, looking forward to working with you inside of the Elite program, or excuse me, inside of BPS. All right, what else? Go ahead and drop any other questions that you may have here. Question from guest on which strategy for booking associations should we just email general information? I don't recommend emailing just kind of a general information. I definitely would recommend that you try to find a specific person that you can contact. Oftentimes, if you email, just a general, general at xyz.com or support or info or one of those just kind of generic emails, typically that's just going to kind of get lost in things. And the more important thing is you don't really have a way to follow up because you don't know who's receiving it on the other end. You don't know who, if anybody's even receiving it on the other end. So definitely would recommend that you find someone specifically that you can reach out to and be able to contact. Dennis asked, do you provide lessons on how to write a quality speech? Yeah, so inside that Speak framework, the SPEAK that we talked through here, the P is prepare your talk. And so this is where we dig into how do you create your talk, how do you put together a good presentation, how do you deliver your talk. And so, yeah, absolutely, we do get into that inside of the program, inside of Booked and Paid to Speak. Now, like I mentioned here, whenever you join Booked and Paid to Speak, you have the option to also get the art of speaking. And so we offer that at a discounted rate. So if you wanted to pick that up as well, a lot of people end up getting both programs. So it's, again, totally optional. But if you really want to go deep on the art of speaking and how do you create and deliver a great talk, then that's what we cover in the art of speaking. So Booked and Paid to Speak is more on the business of speaking. How do you find and book speaking gigs? And art of speaking is more on how do you create and deliver a great talk. All right. What else? What other questions do you have? What else can we answer for you? What else can we help with? A lot of people continuing to join. So welcome to all you guys. Again, looking forward to working with you inside of the program. But if you have other questions, go ahead and drop those in. Now, I know for some of you, you may be on the fence here. Let me go back to my slides here. Some of you may be on the fence. So let me ask you this. If you are someone who you're still here, I can see in our technology that we use here, it still looks like there's a bunch of you here. You're still here, but you're on the fence for some reason, okay? I want you to just type in the chat fence. You feel like you're on the fence for whatever reason, just type in fence. Just type in fence. Now I'm curious, for those of you that are here and you're on the fence, why is it that you're on the fence? What is it that you're worried about? What is it you're concerned about? What is it that you are nervous about? Why is it that you are on the fence? Several of you mentioned that you're on the fence. I know okay, Kathleen said not crystallized about what to speak about. That's fine. You, again, if you wait until you feel like, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to be speaking about, I know exactly who I'm going to be speaking to, then you're probably not going to take any action because you're going to be overthinking it. One of the phrases that we've used a lot is that it's hard to read the label from inside the jar. It's hard to read the label from inside the jar. And so if you don't know, like, okay, I'm interested in speaking and I'm interested in sharing my message. I'm interested in making a difference, but I don't know what to do next. That's fine. So if you don't know who you're speaking to, you don't know what you're going to be speaking about, then I know that we can help you with that. That's a core part of the program and what it is that we're going to help you with, what it is that we're going to teach you. So if you're not clear on those things, that's okay. We don't expect you to be clear because we want to help you with help you in getting clear on that. Now, I know for some of you mentioned that perhaps one of the hesitations is finances. Totally understand that. Totally get that. Grant, what if I don't have the money? But I want you to understand there's a big difference between spending money and investing money. Spending money and investing money. So, for example, when you spend money, there's no ROI. There's no return on that investment. That money is gone. So when you buy furniture or clothes or new car or vacations, listen, there's nothing wrong with any of those things, but that money is gone. When my wife and I, when we buy furniture or clothes or a car or vacation, and we've bought those things, we get the thing, but we don't get anything back for the thing, right? That money is spent, it's gone. Versus when you invest money, there is an ROI, there is a return on that investment. You get that money back plus more. So in fact, last year in let's see, almost a year ago at this point, my wife and I bought our first investment property. It's a brand new construction townhouse in downtown Nashville that we use for Airbnb. And we've had a lot of success with it because we know whenever we invested in that, we get money back every single day. In fact, today, every Tuesday or every Wednesday, we get a deposit from our property manager for that. So I know that whenever we had put money in, that we are getting that money back. Same with retirement. We don't just put money in retirement just for the heck of it. We know that that money is growing and that we are going to get that money back plus more. Same with education, knowledge, training that you implement, that you apply. That's why people go to college, right? Because they believe, okay, I'm going to invest in college with the understanding that if I do the work and if I'm committed to it, that I should earn back my investment. Now, of course, there's no guarantee. You have to still do the work. So one of the things that we talk about is this is simple, but it's not easy. Simple, but it's not easy. You have to do the work. One of my favorite quotes is, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So especially now, January 14th, we're 2 weeks into the new year. If you were to fast forward to December 31st, 2020, are you going to be happy with where you're at? Like if you had started now, where would your business be? Where would your speaking business be? Who are the people that you would be able to impact? What is the income you would be able to make if you had started now versus waiting? So the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is now. Rima said, thanks so much, Grant. Really, all of this is because the guidance you gave us during the course. For the past 3 months, I've been sifting through every article on the internet, like shooting an arrow in the dark, to find out how I could get my foot in the door. Thanks to you and your wonderful course, I found my way. Now I can even see the results. And maybe some of you, this describes you right now, right? You feel like you're just shooting an arrow into the dark. I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm blindly walking and hoping that it all magically works out. And that doesn't work. Versus saying, here is a step-by-step process that you can follow to see results. Bethany said, I've learned more during one module of Grant's course than I have after booking my own speaking engagements for the past 3 years. So if you're someone who has some experience and you are still wanting help with your speaking business, then we can absolutely help you with that. TJ said, your email process greatly helped me. I booked 2 gigs, have a possible third. I'm being paid $3,500 and $700 for those 2. Look at that, 2 gigs, and he earned $4,200 from those. So over 4 times what he invested in the program. Since joining the course 2 months ago, I've booked 3 engagements totaling $1,750. And then Gail said below, yikes, I quit my corporate job after 32 years to coach, speak, and write full time. 5 years of speaking and coaching occasionally. Now it's time to take it to the next level. Full of excitement and fear, but have to give it a shot. No regrets. Michael said, Grant's knowledge about the speaking industry is unmatched. His coaching has more than paid for itself within 2 months. I saw someone asking about how quickly they could get an ROI. Honestly, it does depend on how quickly you do the work and how quickly you take action. But the quicker you take action, the quicker you can see the results. And here's an example of someone who earned back their investment even within 2 months. So again, there's that recap of everything that we've covered, everything that we've talked about. Again, the link is still on the side, or you can click in the yellow box there at the top where it says thespeakerlab.com/go, thespeakerlab.com/go. Okay, let me skim back through here, make sure I didn't miss any other questions. Is there any specific role that you suggest for emailing for universities? So for universities, I would recommend that you really narrow down who within the university you want to be speaking to, what group. There are hundreds of potential opportunities. You think of like any major state school, and there's going to be, usually anywhere from 25, 30, 35, 40,000 students on campus. So it's not like there's one person that's hiring speakers to speak to all those students. A lot of times it's sub-segments. So you have orientation, you have fraternities and sororities, you have intramurals, you have student leadership, student government. There's a whole bunch of different groups that you could potentially speak to. So a lot of it depends on who you would want to be speaking to. I've done a lot of speaking on college campuses. And in fact, inside of the program, and this third bonus, the 12 advanced training modules, one of our interviews is with a college client that I've done a lot of work with, and we just talk about what she is looking for when she hires speakers, and we talk about the ins and outs of the college industry. All right. We'll wait just another second or so. Any other questions? I know some of you are still wrapping up your enrollment, and so for those of you who are still joining, welcome to all of you. Looking forward to working with you. So here's what we're going to do. We will be sending out a replay that will go out, I believe, either tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. So you will see that very soon. So if you need to watch this back through, or if you need to talk with anyone, anything along those lines, that's totally understandable, totally fine, totally get that. And so the offer will be available for a couple of days, but I will tell you that, again, these 3 fast action bonuses at the bottom, those will be expiring in just a few minutes. So when we are done here in just a couple of minutes, we'll give you till, let's say, the bottom of the hour. That's going to be 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern, and then what is that? 6:30 out on the West Coast, 7:30 Mountain Time. So these 3 fast action bonuses: the 15-minute one-on-one coaching call, the Gig Salad membership, and the WordPress theme website template. All those bonuses will be expiring here in just a couple of minutes. All right. Question: how do I get started? You take everything that we've shown you here today, and you can implement it and apply it. If you want to get started with the Booked and Paid to Speak program, then you can go to thespeakerlab.com/go, and there you can complete your enrollment and jump into the program and get started. Also recognize, like, this is a digital program, so you don't have to wait on us to ship you anything. You can literally jump right in immediately and don't have to wait around on anything. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up here. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate it. We know that you're busy. We know that you have a lot going on. But for those that already joined and enrolled, welcome to you. We're excited to work with you inside the program. And for those of you who are completing your enrollment, again, looking forward to connecting with you as well. All right. Hope you all have a great rest of the day. If you do have other questions, please feel free to email us, support@thespeakerlab.com, support@thespeakerlab.com, and look forward to working with you and surfing with you. Hope you have a great day. You guys are awesome.